This is the Baseline FaceTime podcast. We've got another great episode coming for you today. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and welcome to the show.
All right, what's going on, all you beautiful people? I am your host, Manny, with my other co-host, Troy. What's going on, Troy?
Nothing much, man.
How's your day going?
My day has been great. Let's say great. We'll say great.
I had Starbucks.
Did you?
It was delicious.
I saw it. It was huge.
Yeah.
What is that size at Starbucks?
So I used to work at Starbucks, so I had a friend hook me up. So it was basically a strawberry shortcake. I think that's what she called it. It
How
was
cute.
It's delicious though. It's delicious.
How do the sizes work at Starbucks? I've never gotten that. I just say small, medium, large. I know you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
And I know you know.
It's very funny because it goes off of the Italian word. So you have a tall, which is a small, and then it goes up to grande, which is a medium, and then it goes up to a venti, which is a large. And then some Spanish guy came up with it. I should have put context into it. Like, I should have realized that, like, 2 into 2, he was Spanish, and he just said grande, so I gave him a medium. No, he wanted a large. I was like, oh, man. And I gave him a little bit of attitude because I wasn't having it, and it was not a good day. I felt bad. Because once I put 2 and 2 together after he left, I was like, oh, that's why he was upset.
That's interesting.
So, Troy, how do you feel about bubbles? Are you a bubble blower?
I am a big fan of the NBA bubble. If that's what you're asking.
You're not blowing bubbles in the salty Splatoon?
No.
That's a SpongeBob
What is
reference.
that, SpongeBob?
Yeah.
There's been a lot of SpongeBob stuff, like memes and things like that about the NBA bubble. Yeah, they're kind of funny.
I just made that up on the spot, actually.
Dude, the NBA bubble looks amazing. I wish I was there.
Honestly, I read a couple of these things that you printed out because I just showed up not too long ago, and already the Dwight Howard one made me laugh.
Yeah.
It was actually really funny.
So, remember that hotline that we talked about a couple weeks ago? The snitch hotline?
That hotline is blinging?
That hotline is most certainly blinging, and most notably on Dwight Howard, because he got in trouble for, let's just say, not wearing his mask.
Oh, he was the one who got snitched on.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was the one snitching.
Nope, Dwight Howard got snitched on. You know, I mean, how are you not going to wear a mask when you know the snitch hotline is ready?
Wait, he's a Laker.
Yeah, man.
Oh, he better not cost us the championship. Man.
There's been a lot of funny stories going on in the NBA bubble. I'm going to share my favorite with you.
Go right ahead. Is it Jimmy Butler?
So Jimmy Butler.
I kind of had a feeling.
Jimmy Butler, he's just kind of minding his own business in his hotel room, you know, after practice one day. I think it was getting pretty late. I don't know. And he's up there, and there's a noise complaint. So someone called the front desk or whatever. They said, hey, room 23.
It's like a hotel, right?
Yeah, so they're staying in a hotel. He's on, obviously, a second, third, fourth floor, whatever. And, you know, he got a noise complaint on him. You know, I don't know who called it, but someone said, hey, room 23B, whatever, they're being too loud. So they go up to investigate. And who comes to the door when they knock on it? Jimmy Butler.
What is he blasting, though?
Jimmy Butler was dribbling a basketball in his hotel room.
I mean, what do you expect?
What do you expect from Jimmy Butler? So Jimmy Butler, he's practicing after practice. I heard he was in his, like, full practice, like, get up.
Really?
Just getting after it in his hotel room. So, yeah, pretty funny.
That actually is. I just picture him in, like, a headband and, like, armor getting ready. Like, but wouldn't it make more sense to dribble it out on, like, a balcony?
Probably.
Like, because it's, like, less noise. And
Probably, and it's not carpet, yeah.
Yeah, and it would be, I feel like, easier to dribble.
Of course. But that's Jimmy Butler for you. He's funny.
Have you seen him fall out of a boat?
No.
There's a video of him, I'll show it to you, I gotta find it, of him falling out of a boat, and, like, there's, like, this much between him and the ground, and he just screams like a little girl. It's hilarious. I'm surprised you haven't seen it.
Have you seen him in, like, the race car or whatever? With, like, a NASCAR driver going around the track?
No.
I'm surprised you haven't seen that, of all people.
No. Oh, yeah, because I'm a car guy?
Yeah.
No, but...
Screaming, dude.
He also did an interview with 2 of the Heat players, and one was a Caucasian. I'm going to say white. I don't care. That's not how I speak. He's a white dude, and he was shocked. He goes, you don't swim?
Oh, like, Tyler Hero. Yeah, I've seen that one.
You seen that one, right?
Yeah, and Bam Adebayo looked at him, too. He's, like, shocked.
That was hilarious.
Yep. But, yeah, so there's some funny stuff going down at the NBA bubble. Another one, so Rashawn Holmes of the Kings, he got in trouble, and he had to quarantine for, like, several days because he, like, went past the line you're allowed to go past to be considered in the bubble in Orlando. So just off the Disney property, getting like food. He ordered food or something.
DoorDash
and
guys like I can't.
Yeah, and he had to
Explain that
quarantine
to
for a
them.
few days because he got caught doing that. It's just funny. It reminds me of like an AAU tournament, but these are all guys who
They're all grown people.
grown men, rich dudes, and like half of them you see are complaining about the rooms in the bubble. Half of them are like, dude, it's fine. Like I grew up in much worse circumstances, and it's a really cool thing. Actually, I told you this, but like I thought about like quitting my job and like heading down there and like being a little janitor or something, just so I can get in on the bubble, just to see like LeBron walking past, and just like it's a really really cool situation.
Steal
going on.
Patrick Beverly's white T-shirts.
Yes, Patrick Beverly is the white T-shirt plug.
In case anyone hasn't seen that video of Patrick Beverly, he's basically showing his room in the bubble, and he, for whatever reason, just has like a year's supply worth of white T-shirts. I was like, I get it, because white T-shirts get dirty, but I mean, at the same time, it was just too many.
Yep. And some other news, even Zion is leaving as of today.
To go to the bubble?
Leaving out of the bubble. He's heading out for a family emergency.
Okay.
He's supposed to be allowed back in, so prayers for him and his family.
But he also have to be quarantining him?
Yep, so there's a procedure when he gets back of quarantining. So we'll see what's going on there. Russ tested positive for the virus before he got to Orlando. I don't know
Russell
if you saw
Westbrook.
that. Yeah. Russell Westbrook tested positive. He's doing fine. He'll be in Orlando in a few days, I believe.
I gotta stop making fun of Russ, because one of these days he's gonna come and see me in person, and he's gonna just smack. Because I say that every time. I've been saying it since 2K16. No, that's
Life in the bubble.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really much more. It's like life for everyone outside the bubble. That's not in the NBA bubble.
Yeah,
we all live in a bubble now.
It's awesome.
I still can't believe the Dwight Howard one though.
Mm-hmm.
In all honesty.
Yeah,
just a little thing. I didn't think anyone would use the hotline personally.
They're saying it's active, and there's like half the people. I forget who said. Stephen A. might have said, "Hey, keep using it. Like keep calling on people, keep snitching, do whatever you got to do." And I didn't read too much into it, but I don't know if he was saying because hey, we need to stay safe, or just because he thinks it's hilarious. I don't know, but apparently it's been an active hotline lately. I don't know if you saw Kemba Walker's like little mini interview with Taylor Rooks.
No.
So it was pretty interesting too. He was just talking about the bubble, life in the bubble, talking about the hotel room and that kind of thing. And just talking about how, and again, like think about, there's 22 teams there, all confined to this one general area. There's plenty of activities going on in the bubble and things like that. And LeBron and, his posse, Kemba just saw them walking around the hotel one day. And he was like, wait a minute, like, LeBron hasn't been able to do that since he was like 9 years old, he said. He said he hadn't been able to just walk around without getting, hammered with the public and like people saying LeBron. Like, he's in this bubble where it's like like-minded people, professional athletes, people who aren't starstruck every time they see him. Like
that must be awesome. That must be a cool social setting, because like when you're LeBron James and you have a lifetime deal with Nike and your face is in commercials, I can only imagine with that attention and the media story. Because a lot of, again, like we've said it with Jordan, like the media will build you up just to tear you down. Mm-hmm. I mean, like imagine if Max Kellerman was there. You know how much he'd be on LeBron and be like, man, my day's ruined.
Yeah.
Or even what's the other dude? Skip Bayless.
Mm-hmm.
He's always on like. It must be refreshing. You must feel like a kid again. Mm-hmm. I will say that.
Yeah, I mean, when do you think? Not even just like news outlets and things like that, but when do you think the last time LeBron actually had peace and he could just walk out of his room, walk out of his house, and just be himself?
If I had to say an age, 14.
Yeah.
Because like wasn't he on the cover of Sports Illustrated when he was like 16?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, like, yeah, it's crazy. But speaking of hanging out with people, if LeBron has his, I don't posse as you quote, I'll do that. Who would you hang out with in the bubble?
Who would I hang out with in the bubble? If I could hang out with anybody on any NBA team. You know who would be a good one? Who would be a fun one? Who you could probably get in trouble with would be Jimmy Butler, of course.
Nah, I can't hang out with Jimmy.
I'd have to ask him about why he left the Sixers and things too. R.I.P. Ben Simmons, my favorite player. You knew I was going to answer that one. He looks like he has a ton of fun.
He looks like he does better with Kendall Jenner around.
No, he doesn't. She's the worst. I mean, I've seen pictures of him. He put on Instagram him like fishing down there in the bubble.
Oh, I've seen that.
It's hilarious. Like these guys are doing whatever they want. He would be one that I would definitely want to hang out with. What about you?
Me? Kawhi.
Are you serious?
I'm a boring
Fun guy.
person. Ha 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 ha! With that weird ass laugh. That was a terrible impression of it, but like, no, I hang out with Kawhi mainly because like I can't relax. So I would just be like, yo, you want to go practice? You want to go shoot hoops? Can I pick your brain? You train with Kobe? Can I just pick your brain? I just be training with him all the time, and I probably hang out with like LeBron when it comes to like weight training because I feel like he would impart some knowledge that probably I'm missing out on.
What about going to have fun though? These dudes are out here fishing, they're bowling, they're golfing, they're boating, they're doing
but they
anything.
also can't lose.
What would you do?
If I was to do something fun,
yeah,
I'd get the best pickup game that would probably ever be played. Wouldn't you?
Oh, of course.
Wouldn't you?
Of course.
Like,
but I'm saying if you're not gonna be like not basketball. It's Disney.
All right, I have
freaking world.
I have to be the fun guy right now. Now I just play. I have a 2K tournament.
Okay.
Just straight up 2K tournament. I want to know who the best 2K player is.
Yep.
And yeah. Also, probably prank Jimmy Butler because I feel like he can't take pranks.
I feel like he can give him out. I feel like he'd get you back.
I feel like he can give him out, but I feel like he can't take it.
Yeah, that might be true. I know he'd get you back though.
I was fine with it.
Dude, I don't even. So would you be more like? I mean, if you're in this scenario and you might be there for months, would you be more like that laid back guy who's just in his hotel playing 2K whatever, or would you, just be out getting into it with all these other, athletes?
Oh, I get it out into it every time because like you're never gonna get that chance to do that ever again.
Exactly.
Ever again. So I probably spend every waking minute with probably like everybody.
Exactly. I mean, think about it. These again, 22 full NBA teams. It's like a dream.
Who's the person you wouldn't want to spend time with in the bubble? I just thought about that.
Who would I not want to hang out? Who do I not like in the NBA? I wouldn't want to spend time with Jason Tatum.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like Jason Tatum.
Like not even like a little bit?
Nope.
What don't you like about him?
Just don't like him.
All right.
Overrated, in my opinion.
I think
he gets too.
Right.
He's just been getting. I think he's a very good player. Obviously,
I think he's very good. I just don't think he's consistent enough.
He's been getting a lot of publicity lately, and I'm just like, why?
Yeah, what do you do?
Just for I don't know.
I'll agree on you on that.
Who else? I don't know.
I'm not hanging out with Beverly. I steal his white t-shirts, but I'm not hanging out.
I would love to hang out with him and Lou Will.
Oh, Lou Williams, that's a good one to hang out with, actually.
Yeah,
he's dope.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll hang out with Kemba Walker. I feel like Kemba's just a chill, laid-back dude who just wants to sit by the pool all the time. Yep. That's my interpretation of him.
What about JR?
JR Smith? Come on, bro. If I want to get twisted and messed up, I go hang out with the Henny God himself.
Have you seen the guys that are shotgunning beers and stuff?
Oh, they really?
Yeah. So like JJ Redick posted one, and then someone else, I forget who, and then Jordan Clarkson posted one, like a bigger can today, like doing it, and just like all these videos are going viral.
They gonna feel that in the playoffs.
So it's really an interesting situation going on down there.
Yeah, man. It's definitely unique, and I feel like it's like a once in a hopefully lifetime that they'll ever happen again.
Hopefully, but they're making the most of it, and
they're having fun, dude. They're actually having fun. I could imagine that's good for them.
They are.
All right, so
you're right, because think about it. These are guys that are normally, during season they are in 2, 3, 4 cities a week, and now they're here, and the people that are involved in the finals are going to be there till October.
It's like a resort, and no one's bothering you.
Exactly.
That's basically what
it's pretty cool.
They should invest into like an island where only NBA players can go.
Exactly.
And it's like that all the time.
They can call it the bubble. Bubble Island.
Bubble Buddy Island.
Bubble Buddy Island.
I had to think about it. I was like, how can I make this clever? So, unfortunately, when it comes to the bubble, they have to test you. And unfortunately, somebody came up testing positive. And would you like to name that player?
Who? Michael Beasley.
There you go.
So Michael Beasley was a key part of our last show in Name That Net, which you...
I did not do very well.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say it.
I don't know the Nets. Keep it real.
No one knows these Nets. People know the Nets, not these ones that they're making up, picking up.
I can name some Nets. Richard Jefferson, Jason Kidd, Julius Erving. I can name those Nets.
Yeah. So Beasley has to call it his very brief stint with the Nets over. He got sent home from the bubble, and he actually had a suspension that he was going to have to serve for 5 games.
What did he do?
He literally just went to Orlando just to hang out. You know what I mean? Like he's going to be sitting out for 5 games, and then he'd be back after that. But now he's sent home for good.
Could you imagine he infected players by going down early and not getting tested?
I hope not.
Oh, what a Michael Beasley move.
That would be a Michael Beasley move. So yeah. I hope not. I mean, it seems like they're doing really good with the protocols down there, and they're making it happen.
So do the Nets have to get another person? Because Michael Beasley's more of a liability now than anything.
They'll get somebody.
I hope so.
I'm sure they'll get somebody. I don't even know if the roster was full yet. Remember last episode? I mean, it was just
it barely was.
Yeah.
It was
so they might be picking up somebody.
I'm honestly are the Nets in the playoffs?
Yeah, they're gonna be in.
Oh well, they're all right. Well, who are they facing in that round?
Don't know yet.
All right. Well, you know what?
Potentially like the Celtics or the Heat.
All right, just give that to the Celtics or the Heat. Yep. They don't need to play.
Yep.
Let's face it. Their shot went down the hill once they realized they got
maybe
Kyrie
the Raptors.
out.
Maybe the Raptors too. So they'll be in there like I think the Nets will be like 6, 7, or 8.
Do you think the Raptors have a good shot at coming out in the East? I said that with such a high pitch because I kind of have a feeling where I know where your answer's going to go.
Do I think the Raptors have a shot?
Yeah.
Yes.
I like making it to the final. Okay, just making sure.
They have a shot. I wouldn't. Would I say they're the favorites out of the East? No.
That would be Milwaukee, let's be real.
Of course, Milwaukee would be the favorite. We'll see. It's going to be interesting, especially these first 8 regular season games that they're going to have before the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely going to have more of an opinion on every team then. And I think for that episode, right before the playoffs, we'll do a little breakdown of what we think and who we're going to take for the playoffs.
Will there be snacks?
Of course.
I'm there. All right. So basically, ESPN also released the top 50 players in the bubble, but we have the top 10, and we're going to go down the list. So basically, we have LeBron James at number 1, Giannis at number 2, Kawhi at 3, Harden at 4, AD at 5, Embiid at 6, Luka Doncic at 7, PG, Paul George, I actually had to think about that real quick, at 8, Joakim Noah at number 9. I should push him down to 10 mainly because he lost weight.
Joakim Noah?
Yeah.
Why you call him Joakim Noah?
What's his name? Am I saying it wrong?
Jokic?
Oh my god. I can't believe I did that. 10 Butler. Wow, I'm never going to live that one down.
You got to be playing with me. Yeah, Jimmy Butler 10. So, I don't know. Pretty interesting. They just released that today. Thought we would talk about that.
And this is like the best players in the bubble?
Yep. So that was they have a top 50. That was the notable top 10.
Who would you switch around?
I was happy with where Embiid was, personally.
Embiid?
Yeah, I was happy with where he was. I think...
Yeah, because I don't see anyone lower than him that deserves to be higher, really.
Yeah, I don't necessarily see any disagreements other than maybe...
I think Giannis
Jimmy
needs to be number 1.
Really?
I love LeBron anyway,
Yeah.
I just think because of his age.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean...
Kawhi deserves to be number 2.
LeBron at 3?
As much as I hate to admit it, he's aging.
He's aging, but...
No, he's putting up great performance. Maybe because I'm thinking about who would I start a franchise around, and who's younger. So maybe I'm thinking to have that. We'll get to that in a minute.
We'll get to that. We got a segment coming up for that. I think
spoiling the show. They haven't seen this episode yet.
Neither have I. I think LeBron. I mean, they put him there just because of what he's done in the playoffs and his track record in the playoffs. So this is geared toward especially if this is geared toward playoff performers. I would put Jimmy up. I would move him up a little bit.
No, if it was playoff performance, I say Jimmy at number 9.
Yeah.
No, wait, no, not number 9. Number 8 or 7.
Swap
8 or 7.
PG. I'd rather have. I don't know. Well, obviously it's
all right. First off, PG
PG is the second
before injury
option
or after injury.
Right now.
Oh, right now. Oh, yeah.
PG is obviously the second option on that team. You know, I mean, it's Kawhi's team, and then Jimmy's the guy in Miami. So, you could flip those around. I don't know necessarily that Jimmy's a better player than Paul George, but given like the circumstance and given what Jimmy has to do in the playoffs for the Heat to move on,
I think Jimmy's got the dog in him to be competitive. That's
He's
why
got the dog in him. That's for sure.
Because didn't you tell me? Because the whole reason why he left the Sixers was because when he went to the practice, he looked around and he didn't know who was in charge. That was like a big red flag for him.
Yep.
So now, I mean, he's got his own team in Miami, so he definitely is deserving. But like when I just see the one star in Miami, I just kind of go back to thinking about like when stars are normally by themselves and they don't have help. You can't help but not think about LeBron with the Cavalier days. You know what I mean? So we'll see if he can get the Miami over the hump.
Yeah, we'll see what Bam can do. With him.
That too.
They got a couple guys, but I mean, he's obviously
they have good role players. Yeah. But another star alongside him would really put him over the edge. Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens there. They might match up with Philly in the first round. Get your popcorn ready for that one. That'd be interesting.
Can I be real with you? I'm kind of rooting for the Heat.
Whatever, man.
I knew that would get you upset.
Most people probably are.
You and your Iverson hat over there.
That's dope. What can I say?
I thought it was a MAGA hat, I'm going to be honest with you.
Man. Never. So, another interesting thing. So on this list, of course, I had to look for where my boy Ben Simmons was. He was listed at 16 on this list.
Ooh.
So the 16th best player in the Orlando
Top
bubble.
20 at least.
And it was interesting who was 15 ahead of him, who I had an issue with. I want to get your opinion on it.
Go.
Chris Paul at 15. Ben Simmons at 16.
Yes. I would agree with it mainly because how old is Chris Paul?
Old.
Well, all right, he's old, but he has
35, I think.
35. If we're taking it in just this series alone, I would put Chris Paul just because he has more knowledge. But I mean, if you were to take, if you were to argue for him, he's younger, he's still learning.
What do you mean this series alone?
I mean, this playoff series alone, that's what they're generalizing off of.
This is it. This is for these playoffs. Who would you rather have?
Who would you rather have? I think that's what it is, because I would rather have a little bit more of a seasoned veteran rather than somebody who's just trying to spread his wings and go outside the three. You know what I mean?
His wings are spread.
No, I'm not trying to put him down, but I mean, if I was to start a team, I think I would take Chris Paul as a veteran, even though nobody likes Chris Paul. Did you know that? I heard Chris Paul's not easy to get along with.
Have you seen all the memes of him being the snitch? Like, everyone thinks he's the snitch. Before anyone even snitched, they thought he was the snitch.
You know who I would rather have? Cliff Paul. His State Farm agent.
So, yeah, I mean, I get, okay, Chris Paul's a great leader. Oklahoma State's not going to do anything anyway.
No, his team, I think we're not looking at teams. I think we're looking at individual players.
But I'm just saying, like, who... If there's the top 50 players in Orlando who has a chance to, like, make some noise in Orlando, it's Ben Simmons. You know, Chris Paul's going to...
But are we doing that because we like Ben Simmons, or are we doing that...
absolutely not. Because Ben Simmons is... You may tell you some things about Ben Simmons?
Because I was going to say, it's very easy to rank... All right, go right ahead about Ben Simmons, because I want to know now.
I get that Chris Paul's a veteran. I get it.
Right.
I get that he's intelligent. I get that he's like
on the banana boat
player. Yeah. But Ben Simmons is elite in every single basketball category outside of shooting. He's elite. He's the best defensive guard in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Because he can guard 1 to 5.
He's very versatile.
He will guard your best player in the playoffs. I guarantee it. You know what I mean? And
Chris Paul's a good defender too, though.
Chris Paul's a good defender, but he's not Ben Simmons.
He can't go to all positions, but he is crafty.
He is. I get that. But who would you rather have as a defender?
It's all preference based, because like I would rather have a veteran who's more crafty and could use maybe not
Ben
so much
Simmons
athleticism.
leads the league in steals.
Yeah, but
and
that's
he's 6'10".
Because of freak athleticism. But I would rather have somebody who has more knowledge of the game. Because Ben Simmons is still learning.
Of course, but he's learning pretty fast if he's leading the league in steals and he's guarding your best player. Like, you cannot put Chris Paul on your best player. Like, you just can't, because your best player might be 6'8". Ben Simmons will guard 6'8" Jimmy Butler. Ben Simmons will guard, 6 foot.
It also depends on who's also on your other team to guard. Like, you would need a stopper too. I mean,
of course,
you make a very good case for Ben Simmons, and I think I make a very valid point for Cliff Paul.
It was just interesting how you see two guys, one's ending his career, one is just beginning, and they're right next to each other in the
Anyone
rankings.
out there who's listening to this or watching this on YouTube, definitely put who you would take in this scenario, because I feel like we sparked up a very interesting conversation. Would you rather have someone who's young and athletic, or would you rather have someone who has more of veteran experience and who has learned a little bit more knowledge of the game? Because Ben Simmons is in his 5th season?
3rd season.
Okay, so he's still learning, because like some people that I've seen in interviews say they were just out there playing basketball. They didn't really know how to call plays yet. Mm-hmm. Chris Paul knows the plays. Not to say that Ben Simmons doesn't know it. Yeah, it's ridiculous. But I definitely know what you mean, especially if the best player is Embiid, how's Chris Paul going to guard him?
Yeah.
Then it's up to the next person in line.
Of course.
Like I remember the thing when Chris Paul was like, I think a Clipper still, and he was trying to hop over Dwight Howard.
Yeah.
And he just was not doing it, and he tried to foul. But
Chris Paul's an asset, and I would love to have Chris Paul on our team, especially because Ben Simmons has been running a little 4 at since they've resumed practice down in Orlando. That'll be
he's
interesting
perfect
to see.
at the 4.
It'll be interesting. As long as he's got the ball in his hands, I don't care what number you give him. Like if he's
a stretch 4 though.
I want him to bring it up to court sometimes. I want him to, because he's very good with the ball in his hands. He's unbelievably quick in transition. I don't know if you've seen.
No, I've seen it. No, that's how Philly got most of their points in. I forgot what season. I think it was when they got Ben.
Every season.
Was because most of their points came in transition because they had Ben pushing the floor and he had other people
around him.
And most importantly, with his size, you have to rush to the basket because you need to rush to the basket in order to impede his ability to get there, because if you can get in front of him and set up a screen and he'll charge into you, that's your charge. Yeah. Or you're going to have to try to guard him somehow. But if you do that and you're trying to double team him in the process, he already had good wing shooters around him to just kick it out to. Mm-hmm. So what are you going to do? It's like, what's your game plan against that?
Yep.
This is why I like Ben Simmons, but I just think, for me personally, I'm taking Chris Paul.
Yep. So, remember who you taking second last week?
The segment I created, sir?
Yeah, man.
Damn right.
Remember that? So, I put a little twist on it for this week's episode.
All right.
So, what we're going to do, it's who you taking, who would you start a franchise with? All right? So, I'm going to give you, we'll go back and forth on this. So, it's just going to be either or, we're going to tell you their age go down as well. Yes. Okay. So, who would you, today, brand new franchise, who would you start a franchise with? The first one we've got is Luka Doncic at 21 years old, or Giannis, who is 25. Who would you start a franchise with?
Giannis.
Why?
You can't teach what he has.
Valid.
You just can't. I mean, because Giannis can develop a jump shot. I mean, Kawhi is a great example of somebody who has developed a jump shot. Mm-hmm. But with his size and the ability to shoot the ball, you're talking about another threat on another level. It's like you would look at the way how people viewed Shaq in the 2000s. Mm-hmm. I mean, they had to create a rule change for him, which was the 3-second back to the basket rule, because he was so physically dominant. And when you think of physical dominance in this era, you can't not but help but think about the Greek Freak.
Absolutely. Yeah. So the 4-year age gap doesn't do anything to you? I mean, obviously it sparks.
You just can't teach that.
A hint of like, okay, maybe I'll go with Luka. I'm going with Giannis too. Mm-hmm. But maybe if it was like a 7-8 year age gap, because you can't teach that, right?
All right. Yeah. All right. So next up we got Tatum and Young.
Tatum or Trae Young? That is an interesting one.
It's very.
Yeah. I'll go first, and I mean, I kind of already gave it away earlier, saying I'm not crazy about Tatum. True. Do I think Tatum is going to be a multi-time All-Star? Yes. Do I think he's going to be a very, very good NBA player?
Do you think he's going to have MVPs?
Similar in age, I don't know. Do I think Young could? Yes.
Yeah.
So Tatum 22, Trae Young 21. I mean, Trae Young's numbers are absurd.
Yeah.
Points and assists. Tatum's obviously doing well too. More well-rounded. I mean, Young is an offensive player, and that's it. And he is a heck of an offensive player. I remember one game against the Sixers this year. He had, I forget. I know he had 10 assists in the first quarter.
I try to guess the points
in the first quarter.
That's ridiculous. Easy. And he's with the Hawks too.
Yeah,
keep that in mind.
Exactly.
Name a player on the Hawks. I bet you can't do that.
So I would go with Trae Young.
I'm going with Tatum.
Okay.
Just to play devil's advocate, and plus, I'm not really a fan of Tatum's Young's game. I'm just not really.
Because he can be an idiot. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. There's something about him. Maybe it's his face. That's probably what it is. But no, with Tatum, I really liked him ever since he came up, because like seeing him train with Kobe before Kobe's unfortunate passing, and to see him in some playoff series perform outstandingly, I think he needs to be more consistent than that. But we definitely see sparks of potential. Whether he can be a franchise player, that's up to him, and we can't control that. But I would hope that he would be.
Yep, I hope he comes to LA. Be too. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I hope he goes to LA too. I don't like him in Boston. Next one, you're gonna have to focus on the age here a little bit. If you're out there listening.
Kawhi.
So we've got Kawhi Leonard at 28 years old and Brandon Ingram, who is 22.
Kawhi. I try to say that as fast as I could without cutting it off. Kawhi. Hands down. You taking Ingram?
No, I don't know. I don't know. Brandon Ingram's averaging 24 this year. He's improved every year.
Good for him, man.
He's good.
He's good, but I'm still taking the Claw. I had to think about his nickname.
I would take Kawhi too.
Yeah. I mean, I liked him ever since San Diego State. Me personally, because he was such a great defensive player.
Me too.
And
I met Brandon Ingram.
You have?
Yeah.
I feel like you've told me this story.
At a football game, high school football game.
Is he nice?
Yeah.
Okay,
took a picture with him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you have pictures with Brandon Ingram and Little Dirk.
Yeah, man.
Such an odd thing.
And Messi. All right.
That too. I forgot about that.
Ben Simmons, 23 years old, and Zion Williamson at 19.
I'm taking Zion on this one.
Taking Zion.
Yeah. The reason why is because he's younger, and his size and weight is just unheard of.
He's just different.
He ripped the ball out of Giannis's hands, and Giannis is a very strong and powerful
You
person.
think so?
And Giannis is older than him, so Giannis got that grown man strength, but yet. Zion, we keep forgetting him being at 19, my age. Oh my God, I just thought about that. He's got that baby boy strength. So once he fully grows into more of his body,
apparently he's already put on strength, which is like, how can he?
That's ridiculous.
Strength? Yeah. I read something. I don't know how true it was. He put on like 18 pounds since the season
really
shut down.
Dude, and his athleticism too. Which, unfortunately, which I'm predicting,
he stays healthy.
That's the thing. I was about to say when you're that size and you run like that, your longevity is cut short. So you actually have to take that into consideration.
Yep. So that actually, if that were the case, then that age gap between these two would even out in a sense.
Kind of,
there's
yeah.
a 4-year gap right now, but this one's a tough one for me. Obviously, I feel about Ben Simmons, but I'm fully convinced that Ben Simmons is going to average a triple-double in a season at least once.
You don't think Zion can?
I think he can. I would take more money and say that Ben will. Because, he's been close every year, kind of averaging, 17, 18, and 8 and 8.
Now, if you take Simmons, though, are you also taking Kylie Jenner?
Of course. No, Kendall Jenner.
Oh, Kendall Jenner.
Yeah.
Damn it, I screwed them up.
If they get back together, we'll see. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't even want to pick. I'm not going to pick.
You gotta pick.
I'm not going to pick.
Why not?
Because I don't want
I'm
to.
picking for you. You got Simmons.
Fine.
All right.
I'll take that.
Gotcha. Next up, we got Booker, and was that Morant?
Yep. Devin Booker and Ja. 23. Devin Booker's 23 years old. It's crazy. He's been in the league forever. Seems like. And then Ja Morant.
Yeah, it really does feel like
Ja Morant, the rookie at 20.
I'm taking Booker.
Really?
The reason why.
Really? Okay.
Did I really surprise you with that?
This is the first interesting one, yeah.
The reason I'm taking Booker is because Booker has a decent amount of knowledge of the league, and I think he's really wasting his youth with the Suns, and I would really like to see him on the Lakers personally because we could use a shooter. But yeah, I think he has so much more potential, and most importantly, if he actually had a really good coach behind it. Again, I'm basing this who are you taking for a franchise? Who the most potential out of this? And I think Booker to develop faster, just a little bit more faster. That's what I've been going off of. I think Booker, at his age and how long he's been in here, and if he had the right coach and the right pieces around him, he would do great. Not to shit on Morant, but Morant's too young. If I'm trying to win right now in this season,
that's not what this is called, though.
Oh, okay. So
this
maybe
is who would you start a franchise with? Meaning, you're gonna have each of these guys for 15 years.
I'm still taking Booker.
Is the goal.
I'm still taking Booker.
Interesting.
Yeah, and plus I feel like it's closer to my style of how I would play.
I would not take Booker.
You're gonna take Morant.
I would absolutely take Ja.
When you said Ja, I thought of Ja Rule.
Booker is very good. Obviously, incredible scorer.
Yeah,
he's so young
points.
At 23. It just doesn't seem like
I thought he was
he's
26.
Exactly. He's been doing it for a while, and he's Ja is just special, man. As a rookie, he's putting up numbers. He's going to be very good. He's got untapped potential.
With the right guidance.
Of course.
What Hall of Famer most resembles him?
I don't know. Hall of Famer? They weren't even playing point guard like that back in the day. I don't know. That's a tough one. Someone with freak athleticism and freak vision, right? He can jump out the gym. He can knock down. He can, dish it out too. He's good.
Stephon Marbury.
Sure. Totally.
No, I'm kidding. All right, so next up.
Last one.
I'm not really excited about these two picks.
Last one. So we got Karl Anthony Towns. He's 24. Another guy that seems like he's been around a while. And then Bradley Beal.
Around a while, but not in the playoffs. Can I trade them? I don't want them.
Nope.
All right, I gotta pick one.
If you could start a franchise with one of those guys, who would it be?
I'd say Cat.
I would take Cat as well.
Yeah,
I would take Cat as well.
Beal's he's 26. Cat's younger. Cat's bigger. Cat can shoot the three. Cat can hit the mid range. The only problem with Cat is, does he have the mentality to get over the hump? because I feel like when Cat's in clutch situations or relies on him, he gets. I'm assuming he just something's not right there. I think he needs to work more on his confidence and being okay in those situations and wanting those situations. Because I just don't see the dog in him. Like when you think of players that got the dog in them, you think of Patrick
Why do you
Beverly.
think Jimmy left?
Yeah, because you think of Jimmy Butler, you think of Patrick Beverly, you think of Russell Brooke. That's so hard not to say Brick. I'm gonna say that in front of him one day. I know it. But yeah, and Beverly, he has injuries. He's 26. He's more of a liability. I trade him for a bag of popcorn and some Taco Bell. I'm gonna
You
maximize
trade
that deal.
Beverly? Who?
Yeah, Beverly. Oh, I said
Bradley
Beal. That's what it was.
Because you just said
Yeah, I got confused there.
what's his face? Yeah,
Beverly.
So I think you would take Cat, of course, but
it's a logical answer, right?
The other thing, yes, it is. But you brought up an excellent point. One, the dog in him. Two, just like, dude, it's time to lead your team. It's time to lead that franchise somewhere. And I get, like, we're in a different world in the NBA where you need a supporting cast around you.
Yeah.
Like, Joel Embiid needs the people around him, or the Sixers are going to be...
He's got Al Horford around him. I know how you feel about Al Horford. That's why I had to bring it up.
But you know what I mean? Like, he has a team around him, and that's the reason the Sixers are, decent and good. Like, the reason they're better than the Timberwolves is the cast around him. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can get some pieces around him that Cat can lead.
In the era of super teams and dynamic duos, because you're really starting to see that more frequently, is either a big three or a two-star thing and, like, a role of great, like, role or decent role players.
Yeah.
And he has nobody in Minnesota.
Cat can't do it alone. I mean, even when they had Jimmy, they weren't doing much. And they had a decent squad.
I mean, in all honesty.
And they're in the West, to be fair.
But also, too, it's not very much more different than Kevin Garnett's situation. Kevin Garnett, if he wanted to win a ring, he could not do it in Minnesota. And for small market teams, it is a lot harder. And plus, who wants to play in Minnesota? I know I wouldn't. It's snowy.
It's true.
I'd rather be in Miami. Oh, Jimmy, that makes sense.
Well played, well played. So I've got an interesting... 3 of these guys we talked about. A segment that is just fun. You see it all the time on Instagram, and it's like up for debate.
Okay.
So you have 3 options out of these 3. So start, bench, and cut.
Ooh.
So one is going to be in your lineup, one's going to back them up, and one you're cutting. Trae Young, Jason Tatum, or Luka Doncic.
I'm cutting Tatum right off the bench. Luka Doncic is starting, and then Trae Young's the backup.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's not too far off of what you would do.
It's not. I think it's exactly what I would do.
Yeah, right.
But, I think the only thing that you would not do in this scenario, correct me if you disagree.
Okay.
The one person you don't cut is Luka.
No, and the reason I say that is because if it was somebody other than Tatum, like, you could have made this to the point where it would have been ridiculously hard to do. Like, you could have done LeBron, Kawhi, and Giannis, and that we would be sitting here debating this for hours.
That's
but with this is very doable. This is understandable due to the fact of Tatum's inconsistency that I brought up earlier.
Well, exactly. I'm saying, like, the one guy you do not, out of those 3, the one guy who's not getting cut is Luka.
Doncic, from my understanding, now that he has Porzingis and stuff like that, that's amazing. He has help now. Most importantly, he's doing, like, triple doubles. He's grown up. He's watched the right players, LeBron, Kobe. Does he speak English?
See.
Yes? Okay. I'm the Spanish one here, and it took me forever to realize that. I was really expecting you to just say yes. No, I mean, Luka Doncic is just an all-around star, and he's like, what? His age is here somewhere.
21.
So, yeah.
Crazy.
It's ridiculous. You know what it is, too? Because I thought someone brought this to my attention, too. The reason why I think basketball players are getting better and we're paying more attention to analytics is because kids are really not playing to have fun anymore. They're playing it to do as a career. Like, when I heard a professional, I think it was Matt Barnes said it, like, when I was growing up, I was just playing to have fun. Mm-hmm. Now kids are doing it as, like, a serious thing, and now that's why their skill level has developed, so there's less need of the physicality of it. And when he said that, I was like, oh, Matt Barnes is spitting facts.
I agree with that. And I think even we touched on this a few episodes back of guys who are choosing to go to like the G League now instead of going to college because they are so focused. Like, hey, I can go develop my game here, and then boom, NBA.
I get a paycheck for it.
Exactly. So you're right. They are more mature in mind of like this is what I'm doing. They might be 13, 14,
I think
15
they're more thirsty for it. I wouldn't say that they're more mature about it. I
Yeah.
think there's still a naiveness when it comes to the business aspect, but I think when it comes to the playing, that's everybody's dream, especially when you're coming out of terrible environments. You want that.
They're determined.
Yeah.
You're right. You see a lot of that today. So we did a lot of that was fun.
This is a good show. I really enjoyed it.
A lot of player comparisons, a lot of debate as to who we would take and that kind of thing. So that was fun.
This is a really good episode. I really
Anything
enjoyed
else
it.
you got?
Well, we got overtime. I just want to throw in something really awesome real quick because I'm a big car fan. So Dodge is finally releasing their prized engine from the Mopar family. They just announced at their last press conference they were doing a car called Superstock, which had 807 horsepower. I was like, yeah, I'm getting that car. Next thing I know, I was reading an article where they're releasing a new SRT. SRT stands for Street Racing Technology.
And now he's getting that car.
Has 1,000 horsepower. The engine's called the Elephant. So basically, the car itself is going to be called the SRT Ghoul. And I was like, that sounds cool. I like it. And they're thinking about releasing it in 2021. And that would be the first production car that would have 1,000 horsepower. And I think we're going to start seeing that trend a lot more on cars. Because as soon as Dodge released the Hellcat, which had 700 horsepower at the time, Ford released the Shelby GT500, which had around 700. And then the Camaro did the same. The LZ1, which is roughly around the same amount of horsepower. So whatever Dodge does, people are following. So you're going to see me racing down 495 in the Ghoul when it comes out. But yeah, that's all I want to throw in there.
Wow.
Yeah. Does that blow your mind, 1,000 horsepower?
It does. I thought last week blew my mind, but
again,
you're going to come back with something else next time.
I think it's also that's how much the engine puts out, but as the air and flow of things go through the engine, you're losing a little bit of horsepower. So I think that's engine power because there's also wheel power, which is actually translates to the wheels. So I think it'll probably be closer to 950 probably, or 900.
Still.
It's still a lot. It's ridiculous. That's 300 miles an hour, roughly, I think.
Wow.
There you go.
All right.
I think that's all we had for today planned, really.
That's it.
All right.
It.
It's a whole buffalo chicken wrap right now, Troy, so we better wrap this right up.
It's a wrap.
Yeah. All right. If you're not already subscribed to the Baseline FaceTime podcast, we encourage you to subscribe and also smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm and share with a friend if you really enjoyed today's episode. Later, guys.
And check us out on Instagram, Baseline FaceTime Podcast.
Oh, we have an Instagram. I forgot about that.
Peace.
All right.
Hey, thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of the Baseline FaceTime Podcast. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.